During the Antichrist Superstar and Mechanical Animals era, Manson used to say in interviews that he wasn't about directly attacking pop culture and pop music, but in taking its conventions and repurposing them to his dark whims, and in the process, changing what they're about. It seems like somewhere along the road, Manson moved away from that and started instead delving into more personal songs about romance and his own internal feelings of torment. The albums that come from that time period, Eat Me, Drink Me, The High End of Low, and Born Villain, are all underrated, in my opinion. But it's easy to see why listeners might not have resonated with them. The albums are not designed to be fun escapism, but rather a trip into the pain that inspired them. This direction changed with The Pale Emperor, which many viewed as Manson's return to form. But while it was a great album, Pale Emperor was very much an oddball amidst the popular culture surrounding it. With Manson's new album, Heaven Upside Down, that trend has changed. Songs like Tattooed in Reverse and Kill for Me are not songs that exist outside of our current popular music paradigm, but within it. With these tracks, Manson does something he hasn't done in a long time. He holds up a black mirror to popular culture and shows it its own dark reflection. These two tracks, as a result, are the best and freshest on the album. Songs like Revelation Number 12, We Know Where You Fucking Live, and Say 10 are more traditional Manson songs that would have been right at home on The Pale Emperor. More stripped down, gritty versions of those tracks probably would have felt at home on Antichrist Superstar or Hollywood. If there's something to criticize about the album, it's that despite Manson speaking about it in interviews like it's a concept album with a solid theme, it really feels more like a collection of disparate new songs than it does a fully realized album. The good news is that most of the songs are really good. In fact, some of them are fucking phenomenal. The worst track on the album, unfortunately, is the title track, Heaven Upside Down. Amidst a collection of gut-punching songs that mostly feel like epic 80s gothic synth-pop stomp-alongs, it's a mosquito bite, a declawed cat, a speed bump on an album that was otherwise firing on all cylinders. The tracks Saturnalia and Blood Honey are atmospheric and haunting and provide a good respite from the stomp-alongs and dance tracks. And Jesus Crisis, while far from the best track on the album, contains probably the best hook Manson's ever written, which also serves, I think, as a mission statement for the entire album. I won't spoil the lyrics by reading them. I think you have to hear Manson sing them to really understand the power that they convey. The album ends with Threat of Romance, probably the darkest song on the album. It doesn't really feel like the natural closure point to me, as the topics it addresses don't seem to be among the album's major themes. But that's the thing. What this album's themes are sort of a mystery to me. To me, the album is all about escapism. It's all about raw entertainment. It's all about feeling powerful and having fun, but with a very Manson-esque twist. Just listening to the music, you would never think you're listening to Marilyn Manson. Well, at least not for some of the tracks. But as soon as he starts singing and you hear his words, you know exactly who you're listening to. This album is an oddball in the Manson catalog. It applies the ethos of Antichrist Superstar to a musical landscape that's very different from the one that existed in the 90s. And the result is an album that feels like Manson at his height as an entertainer, but is also perhaps uncharacteristically low on substance for a Marilyn Manson album. Then again, Manson's lyrics are so shrouded in visual metaphor and wordplay that it can be hard to pick up on such things until you've undergone many repeat listens. My initial reaction to the album is that it's Manson's pop album. And if that sounds like a bad thing, it's really not. Manson's always defied genre labels. Industrial, metal, blues, pop, he's done it all. And he's done it all well. This album is no exception. And if I have a criticism of this album, aside from the fact that it never seems to completely cohere, it's that Manson perhaps should have gone all in on the concept of a Marilyn Manson pop album and just embraced that sound. Because the tracks where he does, once again, particularly highlighting Kill for Me and Tattooed in Reverse, are the best he's sounded in a long time, maybe even ever. Heaven Upside Down is not a perfect Manson album, but it's a damned good one. 9 out of 10 of its tracks are good, so it makes perfect sense to me to give it a 9 out of 10. The album comes out officially on October 6th. Buy it and support a true artist who dares to make something interesting in a world full of tepid bullshit. I'm TJ Kirk. Peace the fuck out.